кишела бы туристами, но куда там? Для этого нужны капиталы. Нам же назначение капиталов – война. Мы не можем просидеть и 25 лет без войны. Все народные сбережения идут в жертву войнам. Мы оставляем в запустении богатейшие края, завоеванные нашими предками, а в душе все стремимся к новым и новым завоеваниям оружием и хитростью. О каком благосостоянии тогда может идти речь? В самом деле, не только Крым, но и гораздо важнее Сибирь со всеми ее богатствами оставалась неосвоенной. Вместо того, чтобы ставить за Уралом промышленность и добывающие отрасли, Николай полез в Китай. Мотивировки были самые разные, но одна не отступала никогда. По той логике, что остальные великие державы делят мир, Россия должна включиться, чтобы не отстать. Вся эта безумная мысль о геополитическом господстве играла в ту пору чрезвычайную роль. Оставляя в стороне военные причины поражения России, давайте посмотрим на то глубокое различие, какое уже тогда наметилось между ней и Японией. В 1913 году душевой ВВП, рассчитанный по паритету покупательной способности и валют на международные доллары 2001 года, составлял в России 1300, а в Японии 1700 долларов. Средняя продолжительность предстоящей жизни в России составляла 34, а в Японии 51 год. Среднее число лет обучения взрослого населения в 1913 составляло в России 1,5, в Японии 5,4 года. Норма инвестиций в развитие экономики в России была примерно в 1,5 раза ниже, чем в Японии. Совокупно учтенные расходы на образование, здравоохранение и науку к началу Первой мировой составляли в России 2%, в Японии 2,8% и 3,2% ВВП. Понимаете, не разобравшись в своих внутренних делах, не примирив общество, не решив его главных проблем, наша страна, как это не раз бывало, решила сгладить все проблемы одной громкой военной авантюрой. Война все спишет. Да, именно так говорили в то время. Маленькая победоносная война. Нам нужно сплотить народ против внешнего врага, чтобы он не отвлекался на внутренние проблемы. Знакомо? Ради этой цели не грешили никакими средствами. Россия поддерживала славянские национальные движения в Турции, в Австрии, и в 1877-78 даже начала войну с Турцией для освобождения славянских православных народов. Мы поддерживали борьбу армян и греков за независимость от Турции. Турция платила России той же монетой, поддерживая национальное движение тюрок-мусульман в Крыму, на Кавказе, в Закавказье и Средней Азии. Еще с Александра III Россия тратила огромные деньги на флот. Программа военного судостроения, утвержденная императором в мае 1890 года, включала ускоренное переоснащение всех российских судостроительных заводов, и для ее выполнения было выделено 6,5 миллиона рублей. К 1898 году Россия вышла на 3-е место в Европе по числу боевых судов. Создавались даже огромные крепостные пушки, которые, однако, не годились для службы нигде, кроме высотных крепостей Константинополя. Император-миротворец считал, что однажды они окрасят столицу Османской империи. Но в итоге деньги были потрачены, пушки созданы, но им так и не уготовано было стрелять. Все это, конечно, имело свои далеко идущие последствия. Российская империя к началу 20 века стремилась расширяться, захватывать новые сферы влияния, воевать. Именно это желание ослепило руководителей нашей страны в 904-м, когда и появилось это знаменитое изречение «шапками закидаем». Считалось, что если каждый русский бросит по шапке, то Япония со всеми ее островами уйдет под воду. Это же произошло и в 1914 году, когда солдаты, в большинстве своем крестьянские дети, не понимали, зачем идут воевать. Брусилов, например, пишет в своих воспоминаниях: «Сколько раз спрашивал их в окопах, из-за чего мы воюем?» И всегда неизбежно получал ответ, что какой-то там эрцгерцперц с женой были кем-то убиты, а потом австрияки хотели обидеть сербов. Но кто ж такие сербы, не знал почти никто. Что такое славяне, было так же темно. А почему немцы за Сербией вздумали воевать, было совершенно неизвестно. Выходило, что людей вели на убой неизвестно из-за чего, то есть по капризу царя. Солдат не только не знал, что такое Германия, и тем более Австрия, но он понятия не имел о своей матушке России. Он знал свой уезд и, пожалуй, губернию, знал, что есть Петербург и Москва, и на этом заканчивалось его знакомство со своим отечеством. Откуда же было взяться тут патриотизму, сознательной любви к великой родине? Войска были обучены, дисциплинированы и послушно пошли в бой. Но подъема духа не было никакого, и понятие о том, что представляла собой эта война, отсутствовало полностью. Война застигла Россию в самое неудачное время, когда каждая частица ее энергии нужна была для внутреннего переустройства. Война оборвала ее политическое, экономическое, культурное развитие, возложив непосильное бремя на империю прежде, чем та успела встать на новые и более прочные основания. В Российской империи с ее огромным населением действительную службу, в отличие от Франции и Германии, проходила лишь часть мужчин призывного возраста. армии мирного времени.
There's no platform that really thrives off negativity the way that YouTube does. This platform really made it possible to make a living as a hater. I mean, look at me. Anytime a big creator or celebrity messes up, we're always so quick to milk the living fuck out of it for clicks. I mean, again, look at me. So when we see someone who's a genuine positive influence in the creator space, it's quite a fresh breath of air. Nas Daily at one point was that fresh breath of air. At one point, he was one of the most unique storytellers on this platform, a creator who had a vision to change the world one video at a time. He shared some of the most amazing and inspiring stories that I've ever seen. Nas was a creator who YouTube really needed at such a dire time. A couple years ago, I would have bet some serious money that he was going to be the next Mr. Beast. No joke. He was just so different, and every single video he made was the highest quality stuff that I've ever seen. But before Nas could really reach his potential, he let his own ego get in the way. What started off as a journey to help save the world slowly started to turn into a big cash cow. Exploiting people, possibly faking charities, exploiting culture, lying to his fans, Nas slowly made himself less reputable day by day. A couple years ago, his videos were getting millions of hits on average, but now they can barely even scrap 100K. He gets flooded with hate comments every time he posts, and it doesn't seem like he really has much time before he officially hits rock bottom. Let's cut the bullshit and get right into it. Now, in 1992, Nas was born in Israel to a Palestinian family, and as you can imagine, this was a very interesting ethnical background for Nas. It created a pretty big conflicting cultural identity for him, and he struggled with it for a lot of his life. He had a really hard time fitting in as an Arab living in Israel, but the struggle would pay off for him as it was the subject for his college essay that he would use to get into Harvard University. And it was here that Nas would choose to be in an aerospace engineering program, which was pretty extreme. Like, that's some big brain activity. And in college, Nas would actually use these skills to make his very first YouTube video. He gathered a bunch of his fellow aerospace friends, and they made a video where they sent a burger into space. He hit up a local burger joint to give them $1,000 to cover the costs, and they agreed to do it. And the video became an instant hit, getting over 2 million views. Now, this was back in 2012, which was still the earliest days of YouTube, so this was extremely unique. This was actually covered up by a lot of news stations, and even Jay Leno talked about it. For a first ever YouTube video, safe to say, it was pretty fucking good. But Nas didn't really see this as a continuous thing and actually didn't upload for another 2 years. His very next video would actually be a video where he got 30 different people from different countries to solve a single Rubik's Cube together. And this video also did very well, as it was a very unique idea that has never been done on YouTube before. But again, he didn't really see this as a thing to make as a job. He just saw it as a simple hobby. Post-college, Nas landed a job at Venmo where he was earning $120,000 a year as an engineer. Now, adjusting for inflation, that would be around $180K in today's money. He lived in New York City during this time and essentially lived the dream life. He was partying in the greatest city in the world every single week, and he was making making more than double what the average person in America made straight out of college. Nas was living the life, man. But it was when Nas turned 24 that he realized that he just genuinely was not happy. The money, the success, the city lifestyle, it wasn't really doing that much for him. Looking at how the average person dies at 76, Nas realized that he lived nearly a third of his life and just simply did not like it. And it was around this time that Nas was inspired by YouTuber Casey Neistat, one of the most popular and influential vloggers at the time. Casey completely changed the game of YouTube when he was dominating. Casey's whole entire motto was to make every single moment of your life count, and he basically demonstrated that by posting these extremely high quality vlogs daily. Casey was a huge inspiration to his many fans, and Nas was one of them. He loved the style of videos and how it inspired people to really take life by the balls. So after 1.5 years at his job, Nas decided to quit. He was now going to live his dream of traveling the world. He didn't have a plan, but he did have a goal of somehow finding a way to fulfill himself. And inspired by Casey Neistat, Nas would decide to actually do his own daily style of vlogs. For 1,000 days straight, Nas vowed that he was going to post a 1-minute video onto his Facebook account. These videos were essentially going to be documenting his travels.
Here's the idea. Once a day, I'm gonna make one video that's 1 minute long. That's it. In New York City, off to Egypt today, Kenya, Ethiopia, India, then Nepal, then Japan, and then all the way to San Francisco, and then back home to New York City.
Every single day, Nas would find something to talk about, whether it was the food he ate or a certain person he met or something interesting that he found about a country that he was in at the time. Anything that he found interesting was going to be the topic of that video for the day. The videos would take 10 hours to make, with 7 hours of just filming and 3 hours of editing. But there was just one problem. The videos kind of sucked. Nas didn't have a ton of experience making these videos and was very obviously an amateur. And so for 9 months, Nas saw absolutely no results until day 270, where he made a video talking about the Philippines. In this video, Nas talked about how, to his surprise, the Philippines were actually extremely fluent in English. It's actually like as if he was still in America.
When you think of English-speaking countries, you think of Australia, the United Kingdom, and the US. But what you don't think of is the Philippines.
The Filipinos speak such good English that it makes me
Feel like I never left the United States. Here I am eating McDonald's, taking Ubers, and enjoying the beautiful skyscrapers of Manila just like I would do in New York.
This video was very complimenting to the Philippines and got millions of views. This was Nas's sign to keep going with the content, as it was finally going somewhere. Now, why did he initially post on Facebook instead of YouTube? YouTube was more monetizable and could find more people and had a lot more opportunities with it. I mean, who the fuck posts on Facebook anymore? But the reason was because all of Nas's family and friends were on Facebook, and those were really the people he was making these videos for. And honestly, I completely get it. So how did Nas support himself when making these videos if he wasn't making any money off of it? Well, for a while, he depended completely on the money that he saved up while working at Venmo and lived very minimalistically. And slowly over time, he was able to gain opportunities for other side gigs with the promotion of his videos. And as Nas stayed consistent, his following really started to take off. By the end of 2017, he had over 4 million followers on Facebook. And what really made him gain such an audience so quickly was his professional editing style that was very similar to Casey Neistat, his upfront presentation, his very interesting and unique topics, and also translating his video to multiple language, which was a very big help. And by the end of the series in 2019, Nas had over 12 million followers on Facebook. And at this point, Nas started to rake in $80,000 from all of the opportunities that were coming in. So quitting his job was definitely the best move for sure. And it was that same year that Nas finally made the move to YouTube as well. And this is where he really started to take off. Now, given that he was already very experienced in making videos and he already had a pretty big platform, his videos on YouTube took off pretty quickly. It was on here that he posted his 1-minute series along with longer versions of his other videos. That same year, he posted his most popular video to date, where he visited North Korea and he showed the dark, honest, brutal conditions of the country. And as we all know, North Korea is basically a living hellhole that starves its citizens. Nas did something that not a lot of other content creators have the balls to do, and by going directly into the country, literally filming and interviewing citizens. Considering it got over 30 million views, it did pretty fucking well. And tons of his other videos took off as well. A story about a man who created a chemical solution for pollution in his local lake. A mountain in Armenia that literally defies gravity. A guy who was the real life Tarzan. Mountain in Armenia that literally defies gravity. A guy who was the real life Tarzan. Nas made videos that were interesting, inspiring, and straight to the point. And these videos all really shared the theme of living life to the fullest and doing good for humanity. Nas literally knew how to make almost anything interesting. Even a simple video about some random guy he met that roller skates throughout the city, he was able to make that extremely interesting and inspiring. And that video got over 16 million views. Nas was really living the dream and finally got to say that his life was amazing. His success continued into 2020 even when the world was burdened by COVID. A person like Nas was the perfect breath of fresh air during a very dark time in history. And this essentially gave Nas exactly what he wanted in life. Millions of subs, millions of dollars, and even a nice girlfriend. Nas even started the Nas Academy, which was a millions of subs, millions of dollars, and even a nice girlfriend. Nas even started the Nas Academy, which was essentially an online school for fellow creators. It seemed like he was completely unstoppable until 2020 when he got caught faking a charity. Now on Facebook, Nas claimed that he was starting a charity for the East Jerusalem Hospital Network, which had multiple stations in Palestine. Obviously, he was trying to do a charity to basically give back to his community in some type of way. The charity did super well and raised $70,000. However, the hospital themselves released on Facebook that they were never associated with Nas and never had any contact with him. And soon after this, Nas deleted the initial Facebook post promoting the charity, and there didn't seem to be any updates on this. What he did with the money, whether he kept it or possibly secretly gave it away, is completely unknown. Now, this controversy did get swept under the rug and wasn't really talked about that much, but what Nas did get caught with was trying to exploit an elderly woman. You see, on July 16th of 2021, Nas posted a video about the world's oldest tattoo artist, a 103-year-old tattoo artist named Apo Wang Od. She was very, very well known in the Philippines for giving tattoos in these very ancient minimalistic tools, not using any of the modern machines you see today. It was a pretty standard Nas daily video about a very interesting story, and he even announced that he would have Wang Od be a teacher on the Nas Academy. It was advertised that she was going to be teaching her ancient practices to people who were interested in learning. Sounds pretty sick and is a win-win for everybody. Nas gets his business some promotion, Wang Od gets to teach and gets paid for it, and people who are interested in learning how to give tattoos this way get to learn the proper skills. However, there was just one problem. Apparently, Wang Od never actually agreed to any of this. One of Wang Od's nieces would reveal on Facebook that this was a complete scam. Wang Od Academy is a scam. My grandmother did not sign any contract with Nas Daily to do any academy. Some people are taking advantage of our culture. Please help us stop this disrespect to the legacy of Apo Wang Od and the Butt tribe. This was a pretty big shocker because no one thought that someone so wholesome would willingly take advantage of an elderly woman like this, and especially for profit. Now, Nas was quick to respond to the controversy, claiming that this was not the case. We approached Wang Od because just like you, we love her. We love her traditions and are inspired by her. We want to share her culture for future generations to appreciate the ancient Kalinga tradition of Mambatak. So we pitched her family the idea of creating Wang God Academy. Her and her family present both loved the idea and have worked with to build it, with Wang God teaching herself. As a matter of fact, Wang God's niece, Estella Palangdao, was present and translated the content of the contract prior to Wang, affixing her thumbprint. This is the clearest evidence that this is not a scam and achieved the consent of her and her immediate family. He even included a video of Wang God signing the contract with her thumbprint with her niece present in the video. Seems like a solid response, but this was just more deception, as Wang God's niece herself would also later confirm that it was a scam. Hello everyone, Wang God Academy is not real. I spoke to her and she said she did not understand what the translators were saying. I am sorry to tell you she will not be joining Nas Daily. I know you have good intentions of sharing our culture to the next generation. However, our village concerns that some people are profiting and exploiting our culture. I know you spoke to someone and gave money and will share profits, but Apo Wang Od is not aware of your contract. Hope you sort this out. This was not received well by the public at all, as Nas was essentially being a culture vulture to boost his profits. And this controversy caused other teachers who were in Nas Academy to drop their courses as well, because they did not want to get involved in that shit. And as you can tell, this definitely damaged the business to some degree. And if this wasn't bad enough, Nas would get exposed by more people coming forward. You see, in 2019, Nas worked with a woman named Louise Mabulo, who is the founder of the Cacao Project. Now, this project was made to essentially help deforestation by providing farmers with education and tools in the Philippines. It was a heartfelt project dedicated to doing good, and Nas did a video on it. Or at least he filmed a video on it and never ended up posting it. You see, 2 years later, Louise actually revealed on Facebook that Nas never intended to post the video and actually made lots of racist statements against Filipino farmers. Things like, why are Filipinos so poor? He was also extremely disrespectful to her while staying at her house. He ended up scrapping the video completely because he did not think that it would perform very well on his channel. He thought a video about farmers would be too boring. I've worked with journalists, documentary makers, and and professors who have seen my work, interviewed me, and even featured us, and I've had no negative experience that could ever brush up to what I saw that day. Blatant discrimination of my people, no regard for local customs or culture, and he built a story in his mind without meaningfully understanding the context of what he was going to cover. This presented a much different side of Nas. For one, lots of viewers felt betrayed by his racism and blatant discrimination of the Philippines. Nas's whole entire brand and content started with the Philippines. Without them, he probably wouldn't be where he is today. They took up a pretty big part of his audience, so for him to just simply exploit their culture for views rather than actually care about making a difference was a pretty big fuck you to them. This controversy made Nas lose over 500,000 followers on Facebook, the platform that he initially blew up on. Nas would make a response video to the situation, but it would not help him.
For the past week, there has been a lot of fake news about Nas Daily.
Nas Daily is a liar. Nas Daily hates the Philippines.
That's why today I want to talk about Nas Daily in the Philippines.
Because more than half of the video was literally just Nas congratulating himself on all the difference he made in the Philippines, as well as the app he started and getting an award for tourism without actually addressing the situation. He later claimed that the Cacao Project was completely fake. It wasn't a non-profit like it was claimed to be, but actually a for-profit project. Hence why he didn't post the video.
Every time we make a video, there is a chance that it is fake. And one day, unfortunately, we stumbled upon a fake story in the Philippines, which is the Cacao Project. On paper, it was supposed to be a non-profit that helps farmers. In reality, it's a for-profit that exploits farmers. We said we cannot do this video in good conscience. We cannot show you things that we are not confident of.
But this was not received well, as it had his very over-the-top 1-minute daily type of style editing, and people just didn't really seem to believe it. It seemed narcissistic and deceptive. Nas ended up deleting the Facebook post and the apology video, and while it may seem like this actually took a hit on his brand, this actually was one of Nas's best years ever. Nas took a hit on Facebook, but on YouTube, he was exploding, and that was because of the recent new feature, Shorts. You see, that year in 2021, YouTube introduced Shorts to compete with TikTok, and this feature was absolutely perfect for Nas's 1-minute daily videos. He started posting all of these videos onto his Shorts algorithm, and they absolutely exploded. It was the perfect content for that type of algorithm, and he gained over 10 million subscribers from doing so. The controversy did absolutely nothing for his growth that year. He was still making millions of dollars and getting millions of views.
You made $80,000 a month in 2018. How much did you make last month?
I think the range, like all of Nas,
Yeah.
probably $500,000 to $600,000
A month.
something like that.
Profit.
Not in profit, in revenue. In revenue,
Yeah.
yes.
For the rest of 2021, he was on a complete hot streak, which continued into 2022. You see, in 2022, Nas would post the video World's Most Generous Billionaire, which seemed like an awesome concept, but in reality, this video aged like milk in the hot sun. Now, why is that? Well, you see, the generous billionaire in question was Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah, the same guy who did all those crimes and is in the same prison as Diddy.
Okay, the guy you see next to me is the most generous billionaire in the world, and I found him.
Hi, my name is Sam, and this is my story.
Sam has crazy hair. Sam is vegan. Sam sleeps 5 hours a night. Sam lives in the Bahamas with 10 roommates. Sam is 29 years old only, but Sam has $22 billion. And he wants to donate all of it to charity.
In this video, Nas talks about how Sam is like this super humble guy who wears cheap clothes, drives a cheap car, and plans to give away all of his money to charity. He talks about Sam like as if he's the second coming of Jesus. How he's gonna donate all of his money to climate change and to preserving wildlife and trying to make the world a better place.
I wanted to get rich not because I like money, but because I wanted to give that money to charity.
This 29-year-old guy donated $50 million. Next year, he's planning to donate $500 million a year. And next decade, he will probably give away more than $10 billion. And he is funding everything you can think of. Global warming,
It's one of the biggest problems that we have to tackle together as a world.
COVID-19 preparedness,
We have to be ready for the next pandemic.
neglected tropical diseases,
More than 1 billion people suffer from them. We have to eliminate these diseases.
and of course, animal welfare.
Animals deserve to live just like we do. It's also why I'm vegan.
I remember seeing this video when it came out and thought, wow, this is such an amazing guy. We need more people just like him. And not too long ago, we saw just how Sam was basically none of these things at all. With all the fraud he committed, he made lots and lots of people lose all of their hard-earned money. It's forever going to be one of the most insane crypto scams of all time, and Nas basically contributed to it. Nas essentially promoted Sam as this great guy, which encouraged people to go and support Sam's business. Now, Nas would delete this original video and post a video that completely addressed the controversy. But rather than just simply apologizing for promoting Sam and promoting FTX, he actually doubled down and talked about how good charity was for the world and how he still believed in crypto.
I feel sad for the customers and my friends. I feel sad for the world of crypto. I still believe in it. And also, I feel sad for the world of philanthropy. Now, Twitter is full of people saying charity giving is a scam. Be careful of philanthropic people. Be careful of anyone that wants to donate his wealth. This is affecting real charities out there.
And yeah, obviously doing charity is good for the world and all, but this felt very off topic because that wasn't really the takeaway of the original video. It's kind of like as if Nas was just deflecting. This video was definitely not received very well at all and made Nas very less trustworthy. And what's even crazier is that this happened not once, but twice. Because the same year he posted the video, Most Humble Crypto Billionaire, talking about the crypto billionaire CZ, who became extremely rich off creating the platform Binance. And for those that don't know, Binance was like this crypto exchange platform. It's some fancy schmancy crypto talk, you get the point.
He made over $60 billion, but his mom still called him stupid. Let me tell you his incredible story.
And similar to Sam, he painted CZ as like this super humble guy who came from nothing and worked really hard to get super rich, while also painting him as like this very down-to-earth guy who wears cheap clothes and doesn't really show off all of his money.
It's not about making money. In fact, CZ doesn't care about money. Look at his clothes.
Priceless.
He has no fancy clothes or cars, and he plans to donate his wealth to charity. This story is about conviction.
Well, that same super humble and down-to-earth guy was also exposed for doing a ton of illegal shit to basically get his business off the ground, and was not many of the things that Nas painted him as. And oddly enough, this video was not deleted by Nas, nor did he post anything addressing the situation at hand with it. Now, did Nas genuinely not know about these guys being scammers? Now, before all of this, Nas has always openly talked about his support of crypto, and I genuinely do not think that he really knew that these guys were as shady as they were. Clearly, lots and lots of people didn't think these guys were scammers either, so I think it's pretty safe to give Nas the benefit of the doubt with that one. However, intentional or not, Nas did contribute to these guys getting a platform and contributed to their scamming, and he didn't really take accountability for it. But the other possible issue with this is that there's a very small chance that these videos might have been secretly sponsored by these guys. Nas actually went on a podcast and actually talked about how he doesn't openly always disclose his sponsors in some videos. So some of the people that he paints in this positive light are actually secretly paying him money, and he straight up just does not disclose it.
Sometimes we get a brand deal in which I have to go on the spot for one full day and make a video about a person. So
Oh, wow.
those take full days.
Interesting. So sometimes the characters that are in your video are actually paid sponsorships.
Yeah, sometimes, yes.
Do you say that in the video?
So it's actually like less than 3% of the content. And we do not say that because, well, one, in the post, it's when we say thank you to XYZ, blah, blah, for making this possible. Two, it's like, we don't live in America. So you don't actually have to say it.
And he said that his reasoning for not disclosing it is because he doesn't live in America where they don't require him to do that, even though YouTube is literally an American company, so you have to follow the terms and service no matter what country you live in. The rules don't just magically unapply to you if you live somewhere else. So essentially, we don't know if he's talking about a certain subject, whether he actually wants to and believes in it, or if he's actually being paid to do it. Maybe Sam and CZ were one of those customers. And regardless, not disclosing sponsors is just a pretty shitty thing to do. It was actually that same year Nas was confronted by YouTuber Avi Yemeni. God, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And this guy truly showed Nas's ego in action. Now, he's always been pretty critical about Nas on his channel. And so when he saw Nas in person, he actually asked him about his belief in climate change and actually pointed out some of his hypocrisy. If he believes in climate change so much, then why is he using jets to get around? Jets and airplanes are one of the biggest contributors to climate change. But when asked about this, Nas couldn't give any answers and just simply ran away rather than maybe accepting the criticism.
Nas, how you doing, mate?
man. How are you? How are you?
Tell us.
Nice to meet you, everybody.
Do you think it's cool that you're standing here and you're being employed, like you're getting paid by the World Economic Forum to promote their product?
I'll tell you what's cool. This is the video. How are you guys? Give me. You know what's really cool is that all this was done for no money.
You did it for free.
For free, my friend.
You're willing to sell your
yeah.
for free.
I'm selling myself for free because I have opinions, and I agree with those opinions.
You push the climate change agenda. You push a lot of these woke agendas. But here, what's the
Hello, you're on the air.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering, Steve-O, can you tell me how to shot web, please?
Can I tell you how to shot web?
Yes, please. How do I shot web?
What the fuck is shot web?
Just tell me how to do it, please.
Who the fuck is this?
Yeah, I had like a high school friend that we were really close, and then we just kind of lost touch after not hearing from them for the last few months. I'm definitely sad. It's a bummer, but I feel like I don't want anyone in my life that doesn't want me around. And I have other friends that make me feel good as well.
If this is the first time you've ever seen him, you probably won't believe me when I say that Tom Green was absolutely one of the most influential people of his time. When the Tom Green Show came to MTV in 1999, he almost immediately became the biggest thing on the planet. Part sketch comedy, part talk show, part prank show. A typical segment involved things like going to the store and buying condoms.
I'm just gonna buy these condoms. Because I'm planning on making love to a woman tonight. And I'm really excited about that. Okay.
Alright.
Or waking up his parents by putting an actual decapitated bullhead in their bed while making Godfather references.
Luca Brazzi sleeps with the fishes.
It was a relatively short run. References.
Luca Brazzi sleeps with the fishes.
It was a relatively short run, but over the course of about a year and a half, he changed the course of comedy forever. For better or for worse, I mean, I just saw someone say that he was Logan Paul for millennials. I don't know how to feel about that. But there's no denying that he did pave the way for things like Jackass or Tim and Eric.
It's not funny!
For Eric Andre. I've even seen people point out similarities to Nathan Fielder's work. And his influence doesn't just stop there. You see, years before Twitch, or even its predecessor, Justin TV, he'd go on to be one of the first people to do a live stream talk show from his own home. Tom Green Live, later known as Tom Green's House Tonight. A show that Joe Rogan has cited as the main inspiration behind starting his own podcast. But when I think of Tom Green's internet show, I don't think of Joe Rogan, nor any of his other celebrity guests like Steve-O or Tony Hawk. No, when I think of Tom Green's internet show, the guest I think of is this guy right here. No, not that guy, this guy. You see, Tom Green was a trailblazer in another very important way. Before the Church of Scientology, before Chris Chan, before Hal Turner, Tom Green was one of 4chan's this guy. Green's internet show, the guest any of his other celebrity guests like Steve-O or Tony Hawk. No, when I think of Tom Green's internet show, the guest I think of is this guy right here. No, not that guy. This guy. You see, Tom Green was a trailblazer in another very important way. Before the Church of Scientology, before Chris Chan, before Hal Turner, Tom Green was one of 4chan's very first targets, an experiment that would set the stage for decades to come. For today's video, let's take a look at Tom Green versus 4chan. This video is sponsored by Helix. Helix makes premium mattresses and bedding custom fit to your needs and shipped straight to your door. Everyone sleeps differently, so Helix has you take a sleep quiz to match your body type and sleep preferences. I'm a side sleeper, so Helix set me up with the Sunset mattress. The Helix lineup offers 20 unique mattresses, including their award-winning Luxe and Ultra Premium Elite collections, the Helix Plus, a mattress designed for big and tall sleepers, and the Helix Kids mattress designed for growing bodies and endorsed by child sleep and medical experts. Helix delivers your mattress right to your door with free shipping in the US. It comes rolled up in a box and it's easy to set up. And to make sure you love your Helix mattress, they have a 100 nights of sleep trial. You also get a 10-year warranty as well as financing options and flexible payment plans. I've been sleeping on a Helix mattress for a long time now, and it's some of the best sleep that I've gotten. Right now, Helix is running a special sale just for you guys. Just visit the Helix site for 25% off your mattress purchase. Kind of shift ratings peak. Your direction, but it wasn't quite there yet. Jerry Springer was a year out from hitting his highest ratings peak. WWF was a year away from the Attitude Era. And we're a ways away from Dave Correa's generational defining drawing of Slipknot crucifying Fred Durst. I remember that summer, MTV started airing this show called Buzzkill. It was a prank show with these three guys, Dave, Travis, and Frank, who would get sent on these Mission Impossible style quests to fuck with people. Sure, premise and defining drawing. Jerry Springer, your mattress of culture was kind of shifting in an edgier direction, but it wasn't quite there yet. Jerry Springer was a year out from hitting his highest ratings peak. WWF was a year away from the Attitude Era. And we're a ways away from Dave Correa's generational defining drawing of Slipknot crucifying Fred Durst. I remember that summer, MTV WWF was a year quite there yet. It's that the overall vibe of culture was kind of shifting in an edgier direction, but it wasn't quite there yet. Jerry Springer was a year out from hitting his highest ratings peak. WWF was a year away from the Attitude Era. And we're a ways away from Dave Correa's generational defining drawing of Slipknot crucifying Fred Durst. I remember that summer, MTV started airing this show called Buzzkill. It was a prank show with these three guys. Summer, MTV defining drawing of Slipknot crucifying Fred Durst. I remember that summer, MTV started airing this show called Buzzkill. It was a prank show with these three guys, Dave, Travis, and Frank, who would get sent on these Mission Impossible style quests to fuck with people. Sure, prank shows have been a thing since the 40s, but this felt different. It was a little grittier, more like a reality show. And in some people's opinions, it was also meaner. For a lot of people, a big sticking point was that they never actually brought the victims in on the joke. They never did the whole, hey guys, you're on camera. They never did that. Whenever the prank was over, they just get in their van and ditch their costumes, and that was the end of it. And a lot of critics were put off by that. But despite what critics thought, the show was an instant hit for MTV, being out only by the dating show Single. Despite what critics thought, the show was an instant hit for MTV, being out only by the dating show Singled Out before ultimately becoming the top show on the network. And then after just 21 episodes, the show just mysteriously vanishes, never to be spoken of again. Most TV networks would kill to have a surprise hit like Buzzkill. So what could have possibly happened? The truth wouldn't be revealed until 17 years later, in a piece by Sean Manning for The All where he spoke to the former cast members. They had already gotten fired after a segment for the second episode. Frank dresses up like Isaac Mizrahi for a fake fashion show. After explicitly being warned not to, he accidentally tricks Whitney Houston. His Isaac Mizrahi impression was just so convincing that she came up to him completely unprompted, and after she learned what happened, she swore she'd never work with MTV again. But ultimately, this wasn't his fault and the show was a smash hit, so they kind of forgot they fired them. But there was a bigger ongoing problem. In 1996, more people were just starting to get cell phones, so now they'd be filming a prank and people would call the cops. This had MTV worried about legal troubles, so now they'd be filming a prank and people would call the cops. This had MTV worried about legal trouble. The final straw came when they were giving samples of a steak smoothie outside of Whole Foods. While pretending to be a customer, one of the boys faked a seizure. One of the bystanders gives him CPR and he pukes in their mouth. While this is going on, a concerned citizen calls 911, and that's the end of the show. Picture Marty McFly going, I guess you guys aren't ready for this yet. Because according to Travis, MTV would very quickly go on a mission to explicitly find a buzzkill replacement. MTV would find this replacement in Tom Green. At the time, Tom Green was an up-and-coming comic in Canada, and over the past few years had produced over 75 episodes of his show for various networks, starting on public access. He clearly had solid work ethic and a ton of upward momentum. And this all goes parabolic in 1999 with solid work ethic and a ton of upward momentum. And this all goes parabolic in 1999 when the Tom Green Show makes its debut on MTV. And it's kind of funny that parabolic in 1999 when the Tom Green Show makes its debut on MTV. And it's kind of funny that for all the shit MTV gave Buzzkill, Tom Green pushed things so much further.
Please be corn. Please be corn. Please be corn.
No, I don't want you to do that with the You're not allowed to do that. But if you want to do it, just pick up the phone, hit the button that says page. Mom? Mom? Where are you, Mom? Mom? I'm lost. Mom? Mom, I'm lost.
In a lot of ways, Tom Green was kind of the precursor to the modern internet troll, with segments just built around seeing how far he can push people before they snap.
You heard of any illness or death caused as a result of people ingesting the mustard? You don't want to buy bad mustard. Anyone ever come in the store and gotten mustard in their eye? I got mustard in my eye! All right, thanks very much.
Like a lot of Tom Green's pranks at this point felt more Frank Hassel than they do Candid Camera. My favorite Tom Green's pranks at this point felt more Frank Hassel than they do Candid Camera. My favorite example of this is Undercutters.
Undercutters!
Where he gets in his car and follows a pizza delivery driver and he tries to sell a slightly cheaper pizza to the customer. This ends up with Tom getting chased by a guy with a hammer. There's also the time he paid for everything in pennies.
I should just pay with something smaller, since it's only $5. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
Or narrated people's lives with a megaphone.
Some people have commented we don't do enough observational humor on our show.
You have purple hair. You're drinking some juice right now. I'm following you. You're going somewhere really fast. You have to get there quickly because if you don't, you're gonna be in big trouble. You're waiting for the bus right now.
Oh, and who could forget the time?
You're gonna be in big trouble. You're waiting for the bus right now.
Oh, and who could forget the time that he gave away his co-host Glenn Humplick's actual phone number on the show? A big part of it was also gross out stuff, like when he famously sucked the milk right out of a cow's udder. Unsurprisingly, the critics hated the show even more than they hated Buzzkill. But nobody cares what the critics think, and the show was a massive success. Like, it's hard to overstate how famous he was at the time. He's in commercials.
I broke it! You made me break my banana!
He's putting out music.
My bum is on the rail. Bum is on the rail. Look at me. My bum is on the rail.
He's in movies.
He doesn't. He's such an idiot.
You are a psycho.
Has had to learn to live with pain and how to shelter from the rain, and in the twinkling of an eye might have to become the beast in me.
J'ai eu mon permis il y a 2 jours avec un Ricard et je l'ai terminé pas plus de 100 € avec mon compte personnel de formation. Trop facile.
Internet pranksters are possibly one of the most reviled groups on the entire internet, with massive YouTubers like H3 Productions getting their start by covering the antics of these individuals.
You savages! Can you not take a joke? Am I not human? Am I not entitled to tell a joke in the form of this little song?
person being hit by a car receiving the whole type they deserve. And even to find out, you'll have to call them, leave a message, hope they call you back, and set up a consultation in the future. The great thing about Morgan & Morgan is you can submit your case through their website without talking to anyone, with you receiving a prompt response from a professional that can help you no matter how big the case if you become their client. This has led them to winning clients sums in the tens of millions, such as $12 million in Florida, 34 times the highest insurance offer, and $26 million in Philadelphia, 40 times the highest insurance offer. And the best part is their lawyers are absolutely free unless they win you money. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/TTFM, found in the description or by scanning the QR code on the screen from your phone's camera. So if you ever get seriously injured, you can reach out to Morgan & Morgan today. Frank's online history dates all the way back a decade, appearing in the 2010s. He got his start in the online space by associating with a video game trolling group called MyGod. This was during the tail end of the golden age of voice chat trolling, where gamers would intentionally provoke people they were playing with into rage quitting. Frank's content fell in line with what you would expect from the era.
He's got a kid. Is he defusing it?
No, he's not diffusing it. I'm sitting there watching the fucking thing.
This would eventually lead to a revelation. Why stick to trolling people in video games when you could bring it into the real world?
He got to a point where it was like maybe I could do this in real life.
While he was notable within a small niche, Frank was a relatively unknown figure in the broader online community. But this would change after he decided to prank a local news outlet. You see, in 2015, a man named Lester Lee Flanagan gunned down and murdered two journalists after being fired from his job at the news station they worked at. While most looked at the situation as a tragedy, Frank saw an opportunity. After getting in contact with the news station WSB-TV, he wildly claimed that Lester was a member of his online gaming group called Gamergate, using Photoshop screenshots to prove his legitimacy to the unsuspecting reporter.
Gamer, do you want to play CSGO? Flanagan, not right now, I'm kind of out of it. Gamer, why? Flanagan, I can't get WDBJ out of my mind. I have a strong dislike of those people. Gamer, dude, we've talked about this before. Just let it go. It's not a big deal.
His story was apparently so convincing that he even managed to secure an interview with the station where he continued to spew even more blatant lies.
There's also this other guy who frequently bullied Bryce. I guess is the right way to say his name was Sam Hyde. He was a member of an online group called $1 Million Extreme.
The story was uploaded online soon after and quickly garnered attention due to the sheer ridiculousness of it. It was obvious the news station wanted to be the first ones to get their hands on a new piece of information nobody else had, but had unwittingly fallen into the hands of an internet troll.
She thought she had like the story of the century, like
Right.
well, this is gonna make my career or whatever.
Yeah, now she probably works at a brothel.
Yeah, yeah. Now she's
Shamed the industry.
Now she's doing stories about like the water skiing squirrel or whatever.
It highlighted the disconnect between traditional media and internet culture, and even ended up catching the attention of Sam Hyde himself. The comedian was so impressed by the stunt that he offered Frank the gig of a lifetime. He would pay him to film himself hassling people publicly, incorporating the pranks into his Gumroad exclusive show, Happy Little Dad. Frank also ended up doing various other odd things for him.
I ran the MDE Twitter account before it got banned for anti-Semitic comments. Weren't posted by myself. It was like years later. I did like a lot of like administrative work for him and like answered the fan mail he did.
After moving to Providence, Rhode Island to work with the MTE team, he began filming various stunts over the next few years. One infamous example of this is when he went Christmas caroling alongside Sam himself.
Would you like to hear some caroling? No. Why? I don't think you guys can sing.
Another notable bit was when he harassed. This whole bit was when he harassed the employees of yet another local news outlet, only identifying himself as Chad King.
Can I
this old bald fella over here? Handsome up, you mean? This is a pseudonym that Frank often uses during his hassles, being derived from the fact that he is the self-proclaimed the king of the chats. This would continue for a while, with Frank seemingly enjoying getting paid to do what he did best, hassling unsuspecting bystanders. However, there was just one issue. Sam intended to use only a small percentage of the footage Frank shot, meaning he was sitting upon hours and hours of unedited content that would never see the light of day. This would change when his exclusivity contract with $1 Million Extreme ended, with him now being free to use the raw footage in any way he saw fit. Seeing an opportunity, Frank started uploading to his YouTube channel more regularly in early 2020. Most of these were longer versions of previous hassles that included never-before-seen footage, now being edited by people he commissioned himself. In light of the COVID pandemic, he also began posting online hassles, where he would troll the participants of Zoom meetings as well as random streamers. You know what helps me like that? Is hardcore gay pornography. Found club hardcore. Well, he has tried. As you might expect, this didn't last long, with his channel being banned in August of that same year for reasons we'll get to later on. While he has tried to return several times, they were not nearly as successful as his initial run. This ultimately didn't matter too much since Frank has always been more interested in driving traffic to his Gumroad page, where fans can access his entire back catalog of uncensored content for $5 a month. This has always been his main revenue stream, and because of that fact, he has never had to tone down his content for mainstream platforms. Before we get into explaining the contents of some of these videos, I would like to delve into an interesting audio memo created by Frank himself.
Oh shit, that's a Danny G.
So you put your wild card office together? Hey, what's up, Birdman? Hey. Hello, friends of the world. So thank you so much for using our craft.
Leave my shoes alone. I'm gonna hit you from this floor. Stop. Leave my shoes.
Hello, and welcome to Archibald's Hats with Archibald and his amazing hats. Today I'm going to show you how to break into one of Blizzard's forbidden areas, one of the most spectacular and interesting. Previously, exploration techniques to get out of bounds required a lot of setup and expertise, but recently it has become very easy, as we'll see here. The area we will be exploring is Stratton, one of WoW's legendary instances. Veteran explorers know that there is a very interesting change that's taken place here relatively recently. I recommend you create a mage monks void for this, for reasons which will become clear. The void elves start at level 10, which means they can skydive instantly. It only takes a few minutes to fly from Stormwind right up to Stratton in the far north of the Eastern Kingdoms. So when we get to Stratton, we want to get inside the dungeon without actually getting inside the dungeon. For new players, I should just quickly explain that when we enter a dungeon like this, we leave the open world and a dungeon without actually getting inside the dungeon. For new players, I should just quickly explain that when we enter a dungeon like this, we leave the open world and enter a separate part of the game architecture, where only the dungeon and its surrounding scenery exists. That's called an instance. What we can actually see when we are in the open world is called the uninstance dungeon, or in this case, uninstance struggle. At level 10, our void elf is too low level to enter the struggle dungeon. Consequently, they can just walk through the portal without getting transported into the dungeon. Now, Blizzard have put additional barriers in play. Two invisible walls. The first can be bypassed easily with the mage's blink ability. As blink is a teleport ability, it often bypasses collision detection with invisible walls, even over instances. You can just wait for blink to come off cooldown and then use it again to get past the second invisible wall. But void elves have a ranging ability called spatial grid, which does much the same thing as blink and can get you past the second wall straight away. Note this is a much faster way to get into secret uninstance struggle than using defense in any previous expansion, which tended to be slower and more required of expertise. Once inside, you can see this incarnation of struggle is entirely empty. There are no mobs at all inside. One of the first things, and this will surprise veteran explorers who haven't been here recently, is this magical blue void shroud that you will encounter persistently as you go through an instant struggle. It will become clear what it is in due course. Now, we are going to head on to the Crusaders Square, and you get the first indication that you are in an instant struggle as you head into Crusaders Square and terrain from the open world bisects the dungeon. Watch it again in slow motion. Now, when we head into the Scarlet Bastion, you get the first major glitch you'll encounter. When we get to this point, our character just turns completely invisible. This is because of the peculiar way Struggle was just weirdly open mysteriously and towards the east. It doesn't seem to be intimate much. If you hover your cursor over the portcullis, you'll see the label Doodad Small Pool Cuts in the bottom right of the screen to the invisible barrier. But there's actually nothing to look at there. There is some cool ornaments written there. The slaughterhouse itself cannot be entered, as there is some kind of invisible barrier. There's a way out here, straight through the northern wall, and you get this fascinating, surreal view of the necropolis, with these half-worn ruined buildings used in Burning Crusade a couple of years ago. Presumably this was something to do with the relatively recent Lloyd-themed storylines from ancient onwards, but no one knows exactly. If you want to know more about this, I made a specific video about it a few years back. But this is the end of the story. For while we've fairly thoroughly explored uninstance struggle, we've yet to explore the boundaries of the instance dungeon itself. Breaking out of the instance dungeon is even easier than the uninstance dungeon, and it is
sont des seniors qui préfèrent rester vivre à domicile plutôt que de déménager dans un établissement spécialisé pour enfants selon l'Institut français des seniors. Pour les aider à rester chez eux le plus longtemps possible, il est important d'adapter leur logement. Les possibilités sont nombreuses et peuvent être simples. Par exemple, enlever les tapis, utiliser des accessoires adaptés à leur capacité physique, ou remplacer la baignoire par une double plante. Pour s'y retrouver et bénéficier d'une solution adaptée,
perhaps this is the reason why Nathan Klein doesn't talk about Asmongold and his apologia for certain machines.
The obvious implication is that I am a Nazi apologist. That's clearly what he's wrong. Obviously, you can't say that because if you say that, it sounds insane.
We're talking about Elon Musk, man. We're talking about the sickest motherfuckers in the world. We're talking about like you're talking about the sickest motherfuckers in the world. Whenever you leave, technically, see, this is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to. When I looked at it, I think the vibe that I got was like short stack, like goblins get thrown in war. You know how they're all like, he got to dial this down. Not everybody that disagrees with you is a Nazi, man. Just chill the fuck out. Just be fucking normal, man. He's creating more crazies with these rhetoric. This is, man, like, I just...
You know what? It sucks for Aspen, but thank God I don't have to deal with the crazy lunatics that are harassing my employees.
Wait, what? Also, Asmongold's editor is a Nazi. Our enemies are Nazis. They're evil.
Guys, I'm sorry, but quick rebrand. Long live Hassan, the first and only political streamer, the pioneer of political discourse, who single-handedly brought politics to the internet. The $200,000 sports car is a vital tool for spreading the message of the working class. A multi-million-dollar mansion, a basic necessity.
And I don't care. I live on a basic necessity budget for the most part anyway, okay?
World of Warcraft has a lot of secret and hidden places in the game. However, some places are so hidden that you can't actually access them normally. In other words, these are out-of-bounds locations and discoveries that Blizzard either put into the map and forgot about it, or are only accessible by doing some illicit methods to get access to. So with that being said, here are 5 secret out-of-bounds locations in WoW. Starting off at number 5 is the South Seas Islands. So if any of you guys have went to the southern part of Fenarius to complete the quest Kuroko's Home, if you were observant, you may have seen something pretty interesting in the middle of the ocean. In fact, if you look off into the distance, you can see a bunch of triangles sticking up out of the ocean, even despite if you look at the world map, or at least the map of Fenarius, there doesn't appear to be any island or anything indicating that something would be there. In other words, this is actually a place that is way off past the fatigue line and isn't actually an official part of the World of Warcraft map. If you were curious enough to see what it is, you would have quickly realized that there's way too much fatigue and that you would die long before you could actually get there. However, with the combination of some water walking, a speed potion, and the shaman's arm, after a long walk, I could actually get there without being sent back to the graveyard. There are other ways to get to this island if you're clever enough to figure it out, but for my character class, this is the easiest way to get there. So once you get here, it's pretty wild. This place actually has freeform islands, complete with gnomish houses, detailed things on the floor, and even killable NPCs that you can ride with. I find it absolutely amazing that this out-of-bounds location in WoW actually has mobs that you can kill. There's also a golden mining rig in between these 2 islands that you can check out, but there's nothing really there. On the second island, there are more pirates and beasts that you can kill, and this place seemingly has no aim except for being a pretty cool secret that was put into Classic WoW. I highly doubt that you will ever see any other players if you come here, so being here is pretty trippy considering how many people are playing Classic WoW and how deserted this place is. Now, I have heard that this place is actually used with the Scarab Bridge quest line, but I'm not too sure about that as I'm not that familiar with that quest line. My guess is that this place was actually intended by Blizzard to be another objective of the quest hub that never got implemented in the game. I can definitely see that Blizzard were planning to have some sort of boat going to and from the southern part of Naris to these islands, but I would imagine that they never finished it, considering how much other content they were working on at the time. Have you ever looked at the mountains in World of Warcraft and wondered if there would be anything beyond those mountains? According to map viewers, there's usually not much except for some glitchy terrain. However, there's actually one exception to this, where you can find a fully fledged zone that's connected to be accessed in classic WoW. I am, of course, talking about the North Central Village, one of the most secret and cool locations that has ever been discovered in World of Warcraft. So to get to the North Central adjacent, so to get to the North Central Village is really not that complicated. In fact, you don't need to do any glitch using the items or have any specific spell. If you go to Winter Spring adjacent to the temple entrance, you can climb up some of the terrain and actually manage to get above the temple entrance. From then on, you can actually walk across the mountains up north, and it will take you quite a while. It will take you a few minutes to travel across the southern jumping, and you basically just travel across the connecting mountains between Felmore, Winter Spring, and Darkshore. However, each traversing through the mountains will actually come across the point where you can head down. You may begin to see that there's actually a troll village that is just seemingly randomly located in these mountains. It's pretty hard to go down there and not die, so I highly recommend that you guys bring some kind of silver food or something that will reward you for being killed by rolling damage. If you manage to drop down and not die, you will see how detailed the secret zone is. As far as I know, this is the only working entrance to get into the North Central Village, but once you're here, you will see a bunch of trolls walking around that are looking for favorites. If you're bored, these guys will be friendly, of course. However, if you're on the alliance, these are actually called mobs, meaning that theoretically you could actually come here to grind mobs without the fear of ever being captured by the war, since it would be extremely unlikely that anybody else would be here. Now, this is a very strange place in WoW, because a lot of these mobs are actually mean, implying that this place was actually intended to be a place for people to come here, pick up quests, and speak to vendors. I can definitely imagine this place being a quest hub in Darkshore, but Blizzard decided against it and kind of just scrapped this from there and left it randomly in the mountains of Darkshore. There was so much detail that was put into this place, and something kind of disturbing is that there's a head with a door that is hanging from one of these ropes. The only time that you would ever see a player come here is if they're a mage trying to do some AoE grinding on these trolls. Okay, so number 3 on this list is the Programmer's Island. Have you ever wondered what within the game files of World of Warcraft? Data miners have discovered a lot of very interesting stuff that is in the World of Warcraft game files, such as unavailable items and some zones that you can never actually access by being a normal player. One example is an aptly named Programmer's Island that is so impossible to access by normal means. It is essentially in a whole different dimension from the Eastern Kingdom's encounter. In early classic builds of World of Warcraft, this was a zone that was way off out of bounds in the World of Warcraft map. In fact, if you look at this map viewer from the early version of World of Warcraft, you can clearly see that there's quite a lot of zones that are way off and inaccessible to players. This map is the Programmer's Island, and there's a lot of interesting stuff that is here. As you can guess, Programmer's Island is a place that Blizzard created to experiment with some stuff and some terrains in the game. One community that got access to this place discovered that there's quite a lot of interesting things inside here, such as untextured zones, and developed many projects and models that have never been seen in the game. This was back when Blizzard were a lot more willing to put certain things into the game files, but since then, and in modern times, they know how dedicated data miners are in the game, so you don't normally see anything like this today. In fact, just recently they removed the GM item from the World of Warcraft game files, so there's essentially no data access. And the same applies to the Programmer's Island. This was only in the game files of the earlier versions of World of Warcraft, so there's no great access in it today. But just looking at this footage is pretty fascinating to see a very early version of Blizzard experiment with design in the game. Okay, so number two on this list is the Dungeon Cave at York. Now, if any of you guys have played WoW, you'll know that this personifies Alpha Bound's discovery in World of Warcraft. Any WoW players who have been playing World of Warcraft recently would have seen a seemingly out-of-place giant orc killer in the middle of Warcraft. However, looking at this, you may not realize it's actually something inside of it. In this Warp Killer, there was actually a secret that is outbound and not simply an accident.
Over mountains, across oceans, and behind closed doors are places you are not supposed to see. Follow me, and I'll take you through to the other side, a place of never words could fit. If video games have shadows, these would be Lord of Warcraft. Cutting jaggedly into this place is called the Verdant Fields, and upon arrival you see nothing but gentle slopes covered in flowers, and the distant silhouettes of striking growths sticking upwards. Closer up, you can see that these growths are giant flowers, several beautiful varieties. The largest ones aren't unlike trees. There's this one that's doing something to itself. This one's even elevated and seems to fire at people natural spiral patterns. Over on this side is a mound, and over on this side is this big guy who is next to some of these, whatever they are. It's hard to conclude. River amongst a forest. They seem. Oh, and there's a white ball in the middle of a vast area that you're not supposed to be in. I was reminded by several people that I'd missed a bit. Taking the same route, but then going back down the mountain. Some lovely big waterfalls, some now emptying into a tiny lake, a nice open field full of cows, a few dwarven homesteads carved into the rock, a barracks for the mountaineers, an incredibly informative stone signpost that points to this way, that way, and the other way, and this way leads to a mountain tunnel to other things. This is one of the best pieces of scenery an Alliance player will see flying about Azeroth. And it's no wonder that one of the first places a private server will typically try to make playable is this one. Huge swaths of Azeroth, despite being on the map, don't exist. All over the place are. But there's actually between Stranglethorn Vale and the Blasted Lands is one of the big ones. Look at this huge mountain range. But there's actually something in there. A cave. This cave, despite being lost in nameless mountains and being tiny, actually has a bit of significance in the game since the game launched. This fact slowly turned into fiction, then into legend. There's nothing in there, but its story lingers. Other endless hills took past amazing scenery about the events of Warcraft 3. It now serves as my desktop wallpaper. And not too far off the road, during Warcraft 3, a colossal demon occupant climbed fortresses to steal its energy, but instead the tree's powers were sacrificed to strike a killing blow against him, and its success displays as each day. It's really cool that such important aspects of Warcraft's history are in the game, even if you do have to trespass to see them. It's really cool that but instead the tree's powers were sacrificed to strike a killing blow against him, and its success is clear to see today. It's really cool. After Nordrossil's magics had gone constant, private area for Blizzard's game masters, and doesn't seem to have served any purpose other than to be a spawn point for their characters. But someone took the time to decorate this place with detail, so let's take a look. GM Island's surface is mostly occupied by this big mansion, full of people, barrels, with assorted furniture. And though all we see of these maps are the dungeons that build the secrets, when you enter an instance, you are, in tech, displayed down onto this large open flat, and a short distance away, purposes during the development of the game. With the right amount of know-how, you can break out of the mines near the entrance and down onto this large open flat. And a short distance away is this hole. Wherever the developers sculpted here, I don't think we ever found any natural. I've never seen these trees floating on huge crystals, or the hot moving rocks in the middle. And I don't think I even recognize these splintered rocks that form the rim, though these weird bubbles underneath the hole look like the big bubble that's currently Stronghold, the nearby dungeon, arguably takes up Warcraft's most dedicated swimmers and paddle all the way around the northern coast to find a way. Instead, they found Quel'Thalas. Well, it's called Quel'Thalas at least, but it's just an isolated and abandoned elven outpost in the middle of nowhere. The real Elven Kingdom is a short distance this way, though it was added as a separate instance, so it can't be seen from the rest of the Eastern Kingdoms. When considering that this tiny settlement was here well before the Burning Crusade expansion, this place is an interesting look into what could have been, and its forlorn tower set against dusk gives off a beautiful Tolkien-esque atmosphere. Reminds me of this Thomas Cole painting. Tolkien-esque atmosphere. Reminds me of this Thomas Cole painting. Since we're in the area, I want to mention both outside and inside of Nadragas, the blizzard place supposed to be, is this instead. Up here, out the window at the entrance to the raid, we can see the plague wood down below us, right where it should be. But down there is actually a different version of the Eastern Plaguelands. The Lighthope Chapel is there, the Noxious Glade is there, Stratop is there too. But where the northern east of the zone is supposed to be is this instead. Up here between mountains is a huge wintry area with plenty of trees, and what looks like an anchored Naxxramas at its centre, or at least Kel'Thuzad's part of it. I once heard from somewhere that this was a very early rendition of Northrend, and that could be true, but this was all pressed during vanilla. Could this place once have been the planned terrain and the blank spots on a map? We may never know, but I for one do choose to believe that these are the fabled northern plaguelands, because to me, this cold, quiet valley feels like finality. Here, when playing an early this, an entire zone, a long route completes a circuit around this entire desert, with the familiar ancient marks. The assumption I always made is that the lower half is our garage, where the two raids take place. But they're not half the size of cylinders, are they? So what is back there? Well, this. Some of them are impressively grand, lovely. And I'm grateful. And it's so close, yet so far, where we just were at our garage. A skeptic has an extract on Kalimdor's southwestern coastline. This is essentially a hall equivalent to the dwarven homestead I displayed last time, but all have a small and gates each. Subscribe, and if you have anything to say, please leave a comment. I read all.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. It's a shame we don't have a DVD player in here to watch a DVD while we install. With Onto, my watch says it's 10:45. And this is the with Onto, my watch says it's 10:45. And this is the one we're trying to 10:45. We're still installing it. We plan on playing for at least 12 to 13 hours. We're going to document it. So, what? Good call. So, show the people what you got today. You got the plugin decent. You know, the map and a whole bunch of other shit. But what do you supplies over here? Because that you supplies for today's special event. Yeah. All right. I have my Pepsi over there. All right. Cool. We will check back in a little bit.
That's the way it was. Eat something to eat, all that good stuff. Soup, it's 340. What's your status? All that. Relax. Thank you, good food. Thank you to my body.
For the past 6. Oh. About a different blast from the past. Nearly 16 years of development have gone into World of Warcraft, both glory, and it's also when we're going to enter the world of Warcraft. 11, issue 13, November 2004, a month that changed the world of WoW. The world of Warcraft. I do have the actual physical issue. It's over here to the right, so let me just grab it real quick. Okay, sorry about that. Should have had that in frame for you. I will have a scan uploaded along with the Warcraft pages. What's interesting is that this is one of 2 covers. Here you can see the Alliance version. Fortunately, I can only find the stupid one version of that. Probably because they can't read, so they just sell it instead. In total, from cover to back, it's 136 pages. Look at this guy. It's me or the game's love militia. Well, sorry, we got some levels to crack. What a gamer. You actually have a demo disc here as well. It's kind of funny inside for a game, but expansion pack. So the original is this. Listeners. Truly, the most time that many players spent in the outside world. Okay, screw that. I'm game for World of Warcraft, so I'll give you World of Warcraft. But that, if you just want to read this yourself, I do have the scans uploaded in the description. You should check it out. So we too much to cover in one video. I'll just hit the highlights here. So, the body of war will be lit thousands of mighty heroes will wage you myth, magic, and legendary adventure. This is Warcraft like you've never seen it before, and it's as good as it looks. Yeah, just look at those awesome N64 graphics. Just cop the pixels. Soon, there'll be nothing holding you back from doxing people because you aren't more hotter than you. This issue is interesting because it's actually a guide. It was just based in your mind. Like, you just know that there's going to be some ridiculous updated crap in here. It ain't just released. Of course, the beta was reaching out for many months, so that's why we'll see some screenshots of people battling here. At this point, the outro was in comics, and most people starting off were brand new to the game, and also the genre. And here we have proof that clickbait mentality existed way before YouTube. 20 things you absolutely must know before you begin playing. That's just awesome stuff right there. You guys have showed that it's going to of multiple gamer tips, such as this man, my BTS warrior. I just love how the first thing you see is the worst race and class combination possible in the entire game for PvP and PvP. That's just beautiful. I actually do mean that though. There's a certain beauty of knowing this is experimented just figuring stuff out on your own. With the advent of data mining and YouTube, the optimization mindset, it's a lost art. It's something I don't think we'll ever truly get back. Not just with World of Warcraft, but gaming in general. This is a perfect template for solo, and for words who want to try and enter a different style of core tank. Instead of trying to max armor, defense, and damage mitigation in general, you're more of a rogue style player. Today, 90% of the raiding warriors are dual wielding in leather gear. It's more alluding to defense and damage mitigation in general. You're more of a rogue style warrior. This is just great because today, 90% of the raiding warriors are dual wielding in leather gear. It's more alluding to a bit of a hybrid playstyle though. The lost art of the hybrid spec. Today, it's you tank, you DPS, or you heal. Current or classic. The jack-off of all trade and master of none is laughed on at the party. And it's sad. This is one of the many victims crushed under the yoke of hyper-optimization and min-maxing. It represents more of an innocent time of just randomly throwing in points like blindfolded darts, and it's sad. The hybrid spec. Today, it's you tank, you DPS, or you heal. Current or classic. The jack-off of all trade and master of none is laughed on at the party. And it's sad. This is one of the many victims crushed under the yoke of hyper-optimization and min-maxing. It represents more of an innocent time of just randomly throwing in points like blindfolded darts. Your value as a player wasn't just boiled down to a number, and due to everyone's poor knowledge of the game at the time, you could get away with stuff like this. It is a bit ahead of its time though, in the sense that it's basically a DPS warrior tank. Everybody goes crazy about Fury Prime, where you forego a shield and defense in exchange for more threat. That didn't happen in vanilla. Well, it did for this guy. Here are the actual talents. It's more centered around an arms taking build rather than Fury though. And remember, this is launch day, so check out the 1.1 talent calculator. I'll have it linked in the description if you're really curious. Strengths, exciting playstyle. It was exciting at the time. People laugh at the rotations today, but as I've said in many videos, this was an impeccable design compared to the other reigning MMOs at the time. When your competitor uses a Q system for combat, anything looks good in comparison, trust me. Back then, it was a finely tuned masterpiece. While the rotations themselves have certainly shown their age, the actual combat and damage feedback feels as good as ever. If there's anything that's timeless with the game, it's that. It just feels good to hit stuff. Here's a fun little exercise. The famed 20 things you must know. Pause the video here and score yourself. Did you know all 20 of these? Do you consider them a must know? Like, looking full abilities from your spell book to your hotbar? Laugh all you want at this, but if you watch my memory series, you know that I had a friend who apparently didn't read this issue because he went to level 30 quitting abilities in the spellbook. Alright, looking up this Frostbolt. Oh crap, aggro. Alright, Arcane tab. Let's blink out of here. Oh, nice. I'm so good at this game. Yeah, people were actually this bad at the game. And it was absolutely beautiful. Here we see that undead can speak the common language, and given the only race capable of cross-faction communication at the time. That all stopped when you had situations like this, where this mage would lure in poor newbies outside of Red Ridge to a trader who doesn't exist, so you could pyroblast them in the mouth. But what are these special items he's talking about? Maybe they're for streamers only. It's actually a pretty detailed guide, going over professions, how to use abilities, and even where to keep my abilities. Hey, wait a second. Professions, blacksmithing and mining, hotbar bombs, dirt guy, 0 of 10, thumbs down. Rent is very rage efficient. It's often a good investment. Okay, enough of the warrior guide. The whole thing is a joy to read though, and I implore you to read the scans. I wish I could cover it all, but with how much I digress, it would be a 4-hour video. The screenshots are in class of their own. If you're low on cash, stick to places where food is plentiful. That's just beautiful. Warrior love like summed up in one perfect sentence. And here we have another eerily accurate prediction. Druid, backup healer. Sorry guys. Hunters, powerful, consistent pets, mobile range damage, and pulls literally everything. Hey guys, look at this cool shaman. You like this human shaman running around? Remember, word only. Oh, and here's my favorite. The best tip for leveling a warrior. Join a group. Not only is Rend instant, but it's also extremely efficient. Damn, this guy really likes Rend. Who doesn't like doing 28 damage every 3 seconds? Come on. One thing I really like about this guy as a whole, though, is that it has such a heavy emphasis on interacting with other players. Group if you're having trouble, or make friends with the blacksmith. Do favors for people since they might give you a buff. It's a lost art in the game today, and it's a sad state that this interaction is avoided because all quests are soloable, and things such as shared map taking, dungeon finder, raid finder, and cross realm that just alienates the players from each other. When you create a need for this player interaction, you create a need for a community. When you have a community, you have an MMO. You bring the value of you as a person to a group. Inefficient builds or gameplay can be left over if you're enjoyable to play with. And it's a sad state of affairs today that people are so deathly afraid of covenants not being balanced or efficient, so they'll get booted from groups and raids. They've balanced out or otherwise removed critical social structures of the game for the sake of this ultra convenience, and making friends is the new legendary rarity. Since there's no community, you're now just a number. You as a person bring no value to an average group, which is just a depressing thing in the community-oriented genre. If you see another player, charge first and then rend. Ah, Jesus Christ, with the rend. Does this guy have the rend icon tattooed on his body somewhere? Guys, don't use rend ever, unless it's a rogue, okay? It actually does give some pretty prudent advice, though. I swear that some players, even today, would benefit from reading this. Also, don't be afraid to spam buttons. And they also do the same building guide for an undead priest. Leveling is holy discipline. Off to another great start. But maybe I should say that because during the time the game was fresh and dungeons had to be popping all the time. So I'm sure it was fine. Just group relying. And again, community oriented, so healers were the quickest to make friends for sure. It wasn't really about leveling as fast as possible. First level 60, in fact, was a dude named Zenith, a troll rogue who hit it on December 3rd, 2000. About leveling as fast as possible. First level 60, in fact, was a dude named Zenith, a troll rogue who hit it on December 3rd, 2004. Which is much slower by today's standard, but still a legend during his time. And here again, we see another quirk of the undead. Besides, priests can shackle you. And it clear.
World of Warcraft thing! He begins. Night Elves content. There's a collector's edition on it. I found the working version of World of Warcraft's first. I found the working version of World of Warcraft's first ever patch. How to play patch 0. How is it going? Lord, as 0.5.3 clients are actually just an emulator which runs the NPCs as well as much more. Thanks to the hardware computedness by Rory project. Well, I know one thing they're going to change on here. Yeah, I can see that. Subscription. Next, they're dedication for everybody game is its first Nintendo Reverse, first release of the in France Bay. Only level 45 subscribers can go back and follow the game at this point in time. Though, that doesn't stop them from experiencing the towns of the city's first Nintendo as well as experiencing the drastic changes to the world feature by only on this 9 expansions later. This version of World of Warcraft has so much to explore, I haven't even scratched all the stories as one thing.
everything is dragged to a screeching halt when he's diagnosed with testicular cancer. This is effectively the end of his show, spare for a cancer special where you see them take his ball out. It also delays his own movie that he'd been working on by 6 months, and even then he was still apparently in agonizing pain throughout the whole production. Of course, I'm talking about the infamous Freddy Got Fingered, which would hit theaters in April of 2001. BBC's Danny Graydon summarizes the film: caning a disabled person's legs, falsely accusing someone of child molestation.
Well, at least I don't touch Freddy.
Or what?
Yeah, he touches my little brother. He fingers him.
Swinging a newborn baby by its umbilical cord, spattering walls with blood. Oh, and lest we forget, wagging a horse's genitals. Welcome, one and all, to the things that ex-MTV shock comedian Tom Green believes constitute hilarity. Although the divide between critics and fans was massive for the Tom Green show, the movie was a different story. There were a rare few critics who saw the movie for what it was, but basically nobody knew what to make of it at the time. It was nearly universally panned by both critics and fans alike.
It's a vomitorium of a movie starring Green as Gord, an obnoxious retard who makes it his life's work to freak out his dad, played with teeth-gnashing scorn by Rip Torn.
Oh, look, honey, our boy's a genius. He's rigged a pulley system so he can eat sausage and work on his stupid drawings.
And being creative? Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have some work to do. Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages?
It's a barely coherent series of events loosely tied together like you're watching a dream.
What if I told you there was an episode of The Boondocks that masterfully exposed the distortion of Black history, the manipulation of narratives, and the power of storytelling, all wrapped in clever satire? Today we're breaking down The Boondocks, Season 2, Episode 12, The Story of Catcher Freeman. This episode dives deep into the clash of historical perspectives, revealing the complexities of Black identity and the dangers of a one-sided story.
In a world of unspeakable brutality, freedom had a name, and that name was Freeman, Catcher Freeman. This is the true story of a man who risked everything for justice and love. Savior, soldier, killer, hero, and he was your great
granddaddy. The story of Catcher Freeman.
Come on, Granddad. I may not know nothing about history, but I ain't stupid. None of that story is true.
It is true. Catcher Freeman was a hero, and don't you ever forget it. Excuse me.
I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow that let you know to call your brother son. The story that just begun, the promise of what's to come. And I'm a remaining soldier till the war is won.
That nigga lying. How would you know? Granddad always making up some shit about history. How come everyone we related to is somebody famous? The first nigga to go to the moon, or the first nigga to pole vault. Man, he made up Catcher Freeman. Shoot, he probably made up this whole slavery thing. What nigga you know gonna work all day in a hot field for no paper? See, that's your problem. You be believing anything somebody tells you or put in a book. See, I keep my mental mind extra secure. Nothing gets in.
Where you going? Don't you want to hear the rest of the Catcher Freeman story?
No, I don't want to hear no more of your made-up story.
I told you Catcher Freeman was real. That's your great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaddy.
What about when you told us your cousin integrated baseball?
He did.
At school, they said Jackie Robinson integrated baseball.
That's your fourth cousin on my uncle's side, Jackie Robinson Freeman. The Freeman is silent.
The episode opens with Granddad telling Riley and Huey the legendary story of Catcher Freeman, a brave enslaved man who led a heroic revolt against white slave owners. In Granddad's version, Catcher is a fearless warrior who risked everything for freedom, a clear example of the idealized black hero often portrayed in oral family history. Granddad's version speaks to a common phenomenon within black communities, romanticizing figures from the past to inspire pride and hope. However, this portrayal also subtly critiques how black history is sometimes exaggerated to cope with the trauma of slavery. In black culture, there has always been a desire to create mythic figures as a way to reclaim power. Figures like Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, and Frederick Douglass have been uplifted as larger-than-life heroes, sometimes at the cost of overlooking their human flaws. Granddad's story plays into that dynamic.
Now hush up and pay attention. Catcher Freeman was the greatest black man who ever lived. He was Malcolm X, Nat Turner, and Barack Obama all rolled into one. Okay, I'm going to start this beautiful story from the beginning.
Oh, man, from the beginning.
Shut up. It was the plantation of Confederate Colonel George Lynchwater, better known as Massa Colonel.
Probably made him up too.
Shut your ass. The slaves were out in the fields singing songs of freedom.
Guys, what are you doing? You know you're not allowed to sing that song. Stop, guys. I'm serious. Massa's on his way.
Tobias, didn't I tell you to tell these niggers to stop singing that damn song?
Stop singing? Oh, no. Tobias told us Massa Carter likes that song.
That's a lie.
Oh, no, Massa. We feel niggas is too dumb to lie. But you know Tobias is the light of shades, and he got that sharp sense of humor.
Oh, no, Massa Colonel. You out here telling jokes, Tobias?
Massa Colonel, please. I know you mad, but don't tell out on Po Tobias. If you beat him, it's like you beating all of us, but with considerably less effort on your part.
Oh, so the only nigga I gotta beat today is Tobias, huh?
We don't like to see that. That makes us work harder.
Ah, shit, fire, and save matches. Maybe I'll get the better on it tonight.
Please, if you hit him and make all of us scared, make us all just want to stay here. We won't do nothing if you keep hitting him, because it's an example of what not to do.
Well, since you love these field niggas so much, you can stay out here and work with them for a few days. And if I hear that song, these field...
Nothing if you keep hitting him, because it's an example of what not to do.
Well, since you love these field niggas so much, you can stay out here and work with them for a few days. And if I hear that song again, I'm cutting both your balls off.
You guys are real fucking assholes, you know that? Come on, man, look on the bright side. You get to hang out here in the field with the real niggas. Ain't you sick of the white man?
You know what I'm sick of? You two blaming the white man for everything. The white man this, the white man that. You'll never get anywhere with that attitude.
Man, fuck that white nigga. That's your master. I don't know that nigga.
All I'm saying is, you stop being a victim, you might be able to better your life on your own.
You ain't said nothing? I'ma do that. I better believe it. As soon as Catcher Freeman rides through here with his brigade and cuts that cracker's head clean off, I'm out of here. You ain't never seen no nigga be gone like I'ma be gone. Tell you something, you ain't seen no nigga ride out like me, and I'ma join the gang. I got a letter saying I could join Catcher Freeman Brigade and ride out with that nigga.
Damn, you get mail, nigga?
That's your plan? Catcher Freeman, huh? Why not just wait for Santa Claus to take you away on his sled?
Nigga, you don't believe in Catcher Freeman?
Of course I don't. I don't believe in the Easter Bunny either.
I'm telling you, man, Catcher Freeman is real. He go around from plantation to plantation, freeing all the slaves and shit. He like 14 feet tall, got trapezius muscles and biceps. Shit crazy. He ain't just no normal nigga. He's super nigga. He like a black-ass Batman, if you will, and he can fly. Underwater.
Wait, how they know who Batman is?
Stop interrupting.
That's ridiculous. I don't even know who Batman is.
And what's your plan, house nigga? I bet you don't even want to escape. All on Master Nut.
Oh, I'ma escape, all right. I'ma escape with this, okay? With my mind. I've got this.
It's a play, but for the screen.
What screen, nigga? We in the 1800s.
I thought of a new way to display moving pictures on a screen. Of course, it's all abstract since I don't have any actual film or cameras or anything, but I'm gonna show Master Kurt my screenplay, and when he reads it, he's gonna know this could be a huge production.
Nigga, you trying to get off the plantation by selling the script? Nigga, you ain't even supposed to know how to read. How you gonna sell a script, asshole? Plus, it's a writer's strike, nigga.
Yeah? Well, me and Thelma are gonna get married, have kids, and live in Master's house.
I mean, think about your ass, nigga.
Thelma was your great-great-great-great-great-grandmother. Now, Tobias was mad in love with young Thelma.
Imagine Dragons are one of the most polarizing bands of the last decade. On one hand, they're massively successful with the long list of chart records under their belt, and on the other hand, they became the punching bag for some of rock's most outspoken artists.
So she wanted to know, she heard that you guys had a ton of material that did not make it to Sacred Hearts Club. So what happens to that material?
We give it to Imagine Dragons.
When you ask people why they hate the band, you'll usually see a whole list of different answers, from straight up overexposure,
You can go anywhere.
to them being a fake rock band, to their music being basic with cheesy lyrics, or just the fact that it's cool and edgy to hate what's popular. Or maybe this Reddit user that has been nuked off the internet had it right all along. I swear that these guys aren't a real band. They're all partners in an advertising firm trying to corner this Reddit or user that the fact that it's cool and internet partners in an advertising firm trying to corner the market on movie trailer and commercial music. And there's a ton of truth to this. The song Believer, which was released in February 2017, appeared in 32 different advertising campaigns by November of the same year. As a lifelong musician and music fan myself, there are definitely reasons not to like Imagine Dragons. Their music feels like it was written for people who aren't really into music. But who cares what myself or other music elitists think? The band's sales speak for themselves. Imagine Dragons are objectively one of the most successful bands of the last 10 years. The band's first studio record debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 in 2012. Radioactive, the second single off the album and the song that boosted them to fame, was the most streamed song on Spotify in 2013. The song holds the third place record for the most weeks on the Billboard 100 of all time and is the best-selling rock song in US digital history. 5 years later, the band went on to be the most streamed group of 2018 on Spotify and the first rock band to have 4 songs surpass 1 billion streams each in 2019. At the time of making this video, they're still number 27 on the list of most streamed artists in the world on Spotify. So let's be honest, not everyone hates Imagine Dragons, but man, do they have some dedicated haters. My wife becomes physically angry every time someone even mentions the band's name, and this feeling is not only shared by the general public, but also by some of your favorite bands.
They're like the scapegoat of rock and roll.
They really are. However, they are passing the baton to Imagine Dragons right now, and I love it. Yeah, they're like people are slowly coming back to appreciate Nickelback, and then just turning their was it irksome ire towards Imagine Dragons.
From everything I know about the band, they haven't really even done a single thing that could be deemed hate-worthy, making it even more perplexing. No drop-kicking fans off stage, unhinged rants on TV, or even general douchebaggery. The record seems clean. The band is clearly very talented, with both Wayne Sermon and Ben McKee being Berklee School of Music grads. On top of this, the band is very philanthropic and has pushed for LGBTQ rights, particularly within the Mormon communities they grew up in. So why exactly is Imagine Dragons hated by so many within the Mormon communities they grew up in? So why exactly is Imagine Dragons hated by so many people? That's what I'm going to try to answer for you in this video. The band seems like they have to be industry plants based on their massive early success and generic feel, but they actually garnered their breakthrough completely on their own.
Imagine Dragons is an indie rock band hailing from Las Vegas. In the few short months since they formed, they've already won both the BYU and the Club Velour Battle of the Bands.
The band was formed back in 2008 by singer Dan Reynolds and drummer Andrew Tolman, who met at Brigham Young University. The group went through some early lineup changes, with the band eventually settling on the current 3 core band members: Dan Reynolds on vocals, Wayne Sermon on guitar, and Ben McKee on bass, the following year in 2009. The band relocated from Provo, Utah to Dan's hometown of Las Vegas around the same time. The band released 3 EPs between 2009 and 2011, getting their music out there on platforms like MySpace and YouTube, performing at South by Southwest and other small festivals, and as a supporting act alongside the Parltones and Nico Vega for some tours in the Western US. The band started to really pick up a following in Vegas.
They are an up-and-coming local band that's certainly making noise. In fact, they're right here to play in studio. Here's Imagine Dragons with their new song, All Eyes. Take it away, guys.
Receiving numerous local awards, and the title track of their third EP, It's Time, became the #1 requested song on local radio station Mix 94.1. The band signed to Interscope Records in 2011 and released their debut album Night Visions the following year, and really everything else from there is history. The band truly did pave their way and earn their accolades on their own. So where exactly does the hate come from? I present to you Exhibit 1, Thunder. Out of sheer curiosity, I looked up how many times the word thunder appears in this song, and the number is 78. Out of 221, or just a little bit over 1/3 of every word in the song. To make things even worse, the song does a bunch of stutter lyrics. Think Benny and the Jets, bringing the total number of times that the word thunder is at least partially said up to 98. The song is probably the most meme-worthy in the catalog for obvious reasons. It's catchy at the expense of any real lyrical substance. It feels like music created by record executives to print money while being devoid of the passion and emotion that made rock music successful in the first place. It's another reminder that rock music, at least in the mainstream, is dead and exists as sort of a shell of the alternative music that dominated the 90s. Following the release of the single, the band started to see a lot of public discourse from publications and fellow artists alike. In a 2019 interview, Slipknot frontman Corey Taylor echoed the Nickelback comparisons, claiming that Nickelback were passing the baton of being rock and roll's scapegoat to Imagine Dragons. Matt Healy of the 1975 described Radioactive as nothingness, stating it might as well be called Pikachu Banana.
And do you see that guy from Imagine Dragons? He went online quite recently and he was kind of like, everybody's like slagging off my band. Everyone's like saying that like not good enough or whatever. And he was like, Billy Corgan said it and Matty from the 1975 said it. I was like, yeah, bro, like, I didn't say that.
And in a 2018 interview, Mark Foster of Foster the People joked that his band give their rejected material to Imagine Dragons. Yikes. But hey, former Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin found time to show his support for the band's Super Bowl halftime performance, in between advocating for infecting children with chickenpox and blaming mass shootings on zombie TV shows. Humans seem to have a shared experience that hearing a song they once loved too many times can ruin the magic of it or make them even hate it, and there's even science behind this phenomenon. After hearing a song so many times, our brain becomes wired to anticipate what's coming next, and the simpler a song is, the worse this phenomenon can become. Modern pop music is no stranger to simplicity, so it definitely suffers from this issue. It's no surprise that people started to dislike Imagine Dragons. They were on repeat on radio, advertisements, and movie trailers for years. Back in summer 2017, when this article was published, 11 different movie trailers featured an Imagine Dragons song over a couple-year period. I'm sure this number's more than doubled since then. The band also had a song appear in the soundtrack of 142 different movies and shows according to their IMDb page, making them comparable to someone like Justin Bieber. The number of advertisements featuring an Imagine Dragons song is almost comical. Companies run advertisements for a reason. They work. Regardless if a Ford commercial convinces you to go buy a car in the moment, it can build brand awareness, appeal to emotions like joy and excitement, and associate the brand with activities you love, like camping, for example. The strength of video advertisements is that they can appeal to both visual and auditory senses. It's also not really a surprise that brand recognition is also strengthened the more times you view an advertisement. An article published by Variety back in 2017 shows that the song Believer had more than 32 advertising campaigns at the time of the article, and the song Thunder had 17 syncs in 2017 alone. It'd be hard to sit through a single commercial break in 2017 and not hear an Imagine Dragons song. Everyone hates commercials. It's something we all can share in common as a species. If commercials can live in our subconscious and make us associate brands with certain emotions, then it also seems really likely that people can associate the band Imagine Dragons with commercials or something that's wasting their time and keeping them from doing something they really want to be doing. Let's be honest, while Imagine Dragons is typically referred to as a rock band, calling them this is kind of questionable at best. Sure, they've got your typical rock band lineup consisting of 2 guitars, a bass, and drums, and they occasionally use distortion, but these aren't really defining features of the genre. No one's out here calling 2010's Maroon 5 a rock band. Not only is their sound not very reminiscent of rock, neither is their identity. Imagine Dragons, like many of the quote-unquote rock bands of the past 20 years, have blended several genres together: rock, pop, folk, dubstep, and EDM, all tied together to make these very big sounding tracks. They write songs that sound like they're meant to be played in arenas. But by blending all these styles of music together, the result often feels genreless and not like rock, which incorporates cool things from other genres. Shout out to bands like Linkin Park. Let's take the chorus of Radioactive. Genreless and not like rock, which incorporates cool things from other genres. Shout out to bands like Linkin Park. Let's take the chorus of Radioactive, arguably their most popular song ever written, as an example. Hit Songs Deconstructed did an incredible breakdown of this song. We can see that the chorus features 3 synths, electric guitars, electric drums, and electric bass. Nothing too crazy, but what we see is that the synths are kind of the loud up front part of the mix, while the guitars and the bass are lower, and the drums aren't even real. Watch any Imagine Dragons song live, you'll see the guitarist spending more time dancing than playing guitar, and when we finally do get a guitar, it's something simple like this. And to be clear, I don't think there's anything wrong with drawing inspiration from other genres. That's how we get cool new sounds. Nu metal is a great example of this, combining metal and hip-hop. Bring Me the Horizon is also a really good example of similar genre mashing to Imagine Dragons, but they seem to maintain more of an identity and edge. Going along with the genreless theme, the band's image, songs, and lyrics all feel like they're written for everyone while also being written for no one. A lot of their songs have themes that apply to everyone on the planet and lyrics that feel like they could be written by AI. Take one of their biggest songs, Believer. According to Dan himself, quote, "The meaning of the song is really reflecting on specific things in my life that were painful, whether it was anxiety and dealing with crowds, feeling overwhelmed by that, or the success of the band, disease, going through depression, anything that was a source of pain in my life, and just rising above that, finding a place, a perspective where I could be appreciative of the pain in my life and make it my greatest strength,
Oh my
unquote.
God.
Or Thunder, which we talked about earlier. According to Genius, Thunder is about not conforming to society's standards. Dan sings about being told what to do as a child and that he can't follow his dreams. In the second verse, he says that he overcame everyone that told him what to do and achieved his dreams of being on stage. In my opinion, these themes and lack of any real specific events in the lyrics make them feel generic and lacking in emotion. This meme perfectly describes an Imagine Dragons song. Also, shout out to this commenter for boiling down a 15-minute video into 2 sentences. I want to wrap this video up with something that has less to do with the band Imagine Dragons themselves and more to do with the state of the music industry as a whole. The band represents a larger stray away from the popularity of mainstream rock and the domination of rock charts by bands that are lacking the grit of prior generations. The mainstream popularity of rock music, as evidenced by the composition of the